Imagine a storefront that anyone can buy, fill with fake pages, and point at your customers. Welcome to Phishing-as-a-Service. Phishing just leveled up into a service economy. Researchers traced two platforms to more than 17,500 phishing domains, hitting 316 brands in 74 countries. These aren't lone hackers in basements. They're SaaS-style offerings, templates, dashboards, and built-in distribution. If you run a brand, handle payments, or use a phone, this matters. Over the next dozen minutes, I'll unwrap what these platforms do, how they hide, and the quick moves that reduce risk, starting with what FAS actually is. Phishing-as-a-Service, or FAS, works like a criminal Shopify. Buyers pick a pre-made page template, add a target brand, choose languages, and launch via SMS or web links. Hosting, victim dashboards, and even customer support come bundled. No coding required. That changes the attack equation. Instead of skilled operators building scams, anyone with a card and motive can run a polished campaign. Next, we'll look at the platforms researchers called Lucid and Lighthouse and why they matter. The scale is what wakes defenders up. Netcraft and Prodaft counted campaigns from two platforms that together targeted 316 brands across 74 countries, using over 17,500 domains. Lighthouse alone listed hundreds of brand templates. Pricing ranges from modest weekly fees to annual plans, cheap compared to the returns for criminals. That math explains the flood. Low cost, high yield. But numbers are only part of the story. How these kits evade detection is the real threat. Researchers linked Lucid and Lighthouse to different actor clusters, but the kits share code, infrastructure, and tactics. Lucid shows ties to a Chinese-speaking group dubbed Xin, while Lighthouse overlaps with actors known as larva variants. That overlap suggests collaboration, reuse, and shared toolchains, like garage mechanics swapping engine parts across models. The important point: these platforms aren't isolated tools. They form an ecosystem that scales attacks and speeds innovation. Next, we dissect the kits themselves. What do these kits deliver? Hundreds of brand templates, hosting, real-time dashboards, and distribution channels like SMS or web adverts. They can localize text, mimic payment flows, and capture credentials and 2FA codes. Buyers get automation for monitoring victims and routing harvested data. Imagine a ready-to-deploy fake login page that looks right in Spanish, English, or Mandarin, complete with a victim list that updates live. That capability raises the bar for detection. And next, we'll show the gating tricks. Smart gating is a favorite trick. Phishing pages only appear for specific user agents, IP geolocations, or URL paths. Researchers calling from their labs often see a decoy shop, not the scam. Non-target visitors get harmless content, while real targets get the malicious page. That keeps scanners blind and human victims exposed. It's a surgical approach to fraud. Small footprint to tools, big impact on people. Coming up, how attackers harvest credentials in real time. Once a victim types credentials, operators don't wait. Dashboards alert attackers and trigger a prompt for 2FA codes moments later. That live interaction tactic boosts success dramatically. Some kits automate Telegram or email exfiltration. Others use services like Email.js to slide data straight into inboxes. Imagine a thief at a terminal, watching a meter tick as stolen logins pour in. That immediacy turns a single click into a full account takeover. Next, why exfiltration is shifting back to email. Attackers are moving away from Telegram and back to email-based exfiltration. Researchers saw a 25% monthly increase in email exfiltration, often using throwaway SMTP relays or Email.js. Email is federated. There's no single company to pressure for takedowns, so attackers exploit that friction. For defenders, that means monitoring outbound email flows and transactional API use matters as much as blocking bad links. Up next, lookalike domains and the homoglyph trap that fools human eyes. Homoglyphs are tiny characters that impersonate letters. Think a Japanese hiragana that looks like a punctuation mark. Attackers register internationalized domains that visually mimic brands, and browser heuristics sometimes show the native script instead of puny code. Researchers found hundreds of IDN lookalikes targeting crypto users and extension installers. The goal? Trick users into installing fake wallet extensions and surrendering seed phrases. We'll unpack practical checks to spot these fakes in a moment. A new breed of scams masks as legitimate task jobs. Victims get messages promising easy money for completing branded tasks, then must deposit crypto, typically at least $100. Once money moves, fraudsters use sunk cost pressure to push victims deeper. These schemes borrow brand trust and scale through automation, creating a pipeline of convincing recruitment messages. If that sounds like a social engineering masterclass, it is. And next, we'll summarize the threats before jumping into defenses. Quick mid-video recap. We've seen FOSS platforms scale phishing with templates, smart gating, real-time harvesting, IDN lookalikes, and task scams demanding crypto deposits. The landscape favors low-cost buyers and high-impact attacks. If you're wondering where to start defending, good news. The next section gives concrete, immediate steps for individuals and teams to reduce risk fast. Stay with me. The hands-on checklist starts now. For individuals, slow down. Treat texts and DMs about deliveries, tolls, or refunds like suspicious mail. Instead of clicking, open your browser and type the vendor's official address. Copy suspicious URLs into URL Scan or Virus Total to preview them safely. These small habits stop many scams before they begin. Next, I'll explain a simple trick with your password manager that reveals imposter sites instantly. Password managers are powerful detectors. They only autofill credentials on exact domain matches. If the manager won't fill, assume the site is wrong. Add a Punycode or IDN checker to your workflow. VeriSign's tools or a quick Punycode converter reveal hidden characters. That little step stops homoglyph tricks cold. Coming up, why phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication should be non-negotiable for sensitive accounts. Swap SMS or app-based codes for phishing-resistant MFA like security keys or passkeys. FIDO2 keys and WebAuthn methods bind authentication to the site's cryptographic identity, making stolen passwords useless. Start with administrators and high-value users, then expand. The upfront cost is tiny compared to the loss from a compromised admin account. Next, we'll cover messaging and SIM swap protections for mobile users. Protect your phone. Set a carrier PIN to reduce SIM swap attacks and enable unknown sender filters on iPhone or Android. Treat links in iMessage and RCS like email links. Don't click without verifying. For teams, simulate smishing during training so employees learn to recognize urgent delivery or toll messages. These micro-simulations change behavior quickly. And next, we'll talk specifically about crypto safety. Cryptocurrency users face unique risks. Never share seed phrases. Only install wallet extensions from verified vendor pages and confirm the publisher and reviews. Check extension permissions for clipboard or system access. Those are red flags. If an extension asks to run outside the browser store, decline. Treat any urgent wallet update requests with extreme skepticism. Up next, defenses for security teams and SOCs tracking fast behaviors. Security teams should harden identity and email first. Enforce phishing-resistant MFA for admins, and move DMARC to P=reject after monitoring SPF and DKIM alignment. Monitor outbound email for scripted SMTP usage from unexpected web assets. Alert on transactional API calls that look like they're sending credentials to consumer mail services. These steps close common exfiltration paths and reduce the impact of harvested credentials. Next, we'll cover web and brand protections. Monitor certificate transparency logs for brand terms via services like crt.sh to spot new lookalike domains. Track IDN registrations and alert on mixed script confusables per Unicode UTS number 39. Build a takedown playbook with your registrar and a brand protection vendor. Fast takedowns reduce victim exposure and cut attacker momentum. Soon we'll explain detection strategies that reveal gated phishing pages. Detecting fast behavior requires crawling like the attacker. Use mobile user agents and geo-proxied IPs to hit gated routes. Try multiple path variants so you don't just see the decoy. Instrument detections for rapid 2FA prompts, quick posts to third-party endpoints, and unexpected SMTP API traffic. Combine these signals with threat intel fingerprints from Netcraft and Prodaft to prioritize takedowns and warnings. Next, Browser and extension controls for managed fleets. Lock down browser extensions in enterprise fleets. Use allow lists and audit installed extensions for overbroad permissions like clipboard or web request access. Apply Chrome and Edge enterprise policies to prevent outside store installs. For unmanaged users, publish clear guidance and verified links to official extension pages. These controls stop fake wallet installers and reduce brand impersonation vectors. Up next, network and application controls you should deploy. On the network side, deploy EDR that spots malicious browser injection and enforce TLS across mail and web. Implement MTA-STS and TLS-RPT for mail transport security. Use web proxies that can detect and block known abusive IDNs and puppet domains. These controls add friction attackers rarely plan for and protect customers and employees alike. Next, we'll cover people, process, and the communications playbook that prevents panic. People and process matter. Run micro-trainings on current lures, parcel notices, toll fees, and wallet updates. Simulate smishing with safety guardrails. Publish a public How We Contact You page explaining what you'll never ask for. Publish a verified support email and a rapid takedown contact. Coordinate legal, PR, and customer support so your first public line is calm, clear, and authoritative. Last, I'll hand you a practical 30-day checklist to act on immediately. 30-day checklist. Enforce passkeys or security keys for admins. Move DMARC to P=reject after monitoring. Lock extension installs. Set up CT log monitoring for brand terms. Add IDN, homoglyph alerts. Build a smishing-aware training module, and stand up a takedown runbook. Small prioritized moves beat broad promises. Start with identity and brand monitoring, then iterate. If you follow that sequence, you'll sharply reduce risk in weeks, not months. In closing, fast platforms have commodified phishing. They combine templates, gating, and real-time harvesting to hit targets at scale. But defenders win with engineering, not slogans. Layered identity controls, mobile-aware detection, and fast takedowns change the math. Treat every urgent link as hostile until proven safe. If you take 2 actions this week, deploy phishing-resistant MFA for admins and set up CT monitoring for brand terms, you'll cut the highest risk paths attackers use. Here's one last nudge to act. If this helped, like the video and subscribe for more practical security briefings. Tell us in the comments which defense you'll implement first.